What would a war between the United States and China actually look like? Now, you'll hear both sides say they absolutely do not want it, and yet, all the pieces are moving into place for what could be a global catastrophe. So let's break down how this could all go so wrong.
So where is this place? The most dangerous 100 miles on Earth? It's right there, in that strip of water between mainland China and Taiwan. Every single day, warships, fighter jets, they're playing a high-stakes, deadly game of chicken in this narrow strait. And the stakes? They literally couldn't be higher.
So yeah, this isn't some hypothetical. This is happening right now. Every day in this region is a test of nerves. And you have to understand, a single mistake, one miscalculation, could have consequences that are just, well, unimaginable.
Just look at this number, 464. That's how many Chinese military planes were spotted buzzing Taiwan's airspace, and that's just by August of 2024. This isn't a rare thing, it's a constant grinding pressure campaign, with jets testing Taiwan's defenses almost every single day.
And this is exactly how things could spiral out of control in a heartbeat. We've already seen some seriously close calls. I'm talking Chinese sailors storming a Philippine ship with axes, and a really tragic incident where a Taiwanese fishing boat capsized during a chase and 2 people died. See, these aren't war games. These are real, tense clashes that could ignite the whole region at any moment.
But you know, all this military tension, it's really only half the story. To get the full picture, you have to look at the politics and the history here, because it's created this diplomatic trap that neither Washington nor Beijing can really get out of.
For China, the mission is crystal clear. President Xi has basically staked his legacy on absorbing Taiwan. And get this, US intelligence officials believe he's given his military a deadline to be ready for an invasion, 2027. This isn't just talk, right? This is operational planning with a very real countdown timer.
And then you've got the United States, which is locked into this policy called strategic ambiguity. And honestly, it's a masterpiece of contradiction. I mean, look at this. On one hand, the US says it acknowledges Beijing's One China policy. But what does it do? It acts as Taiwan's #1 military supplier and protector. It's this diplomatic tightrope that's just becoming impossible to walk.
And this number really shows you why backing down is so hard. We're talking about over $22 billion in approved arms sales just waiting to be delivered to Taiwan. The US is deeply, deeply invested. Can you imagine any American president just letting Taiwan fall? It would be a political disaster at home. They're trapped by their own commitments.
Okay, so if war does break out, what's it going to look like? Military analysts have run the simulations, and the most likely scenario, it doesn't start with some massive D-Day-style beach invasion. No, it's a lot more clever and a lot more sinister than that.
It would probably start with something China would call a quarantine. Basically, a naval blockade would just wrap around the island, choking off all shipping. They wouldn't call it an act of war, no way. They'd call it an exercise. But it puts Taiwan in an impossible bind. Either you surrender, or you watch your entire society grind to a halt.
And this right here, this is Taiwan's Achilles heel. It imports 98% of its energy, 70% of its food. A blockade isn't a long-term plan. It's a chokehold designed to spark a massive crisis in a matter of days, not weeks.
And this is the most terrifying part. Back in 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the world had almost 2 weeks to figure things out, to negotiate, to de-escalate. Today, a conflict like this would move at the speed of light. That window for diplomacy, it could slam shut in 72 hours, before anyone even has time to find a way out.
And the first shots of this war, they wouldn't be fired from a cannon. They'd be silent. They'd be digital. And they could hit the US mainland before most people have even had their morning coffee.
Just imagine you're the captain of a US destroyer, ordered to challenge this blockade. As your ship gets close, everything goes haywire. Your GPS is lying to you, your comms are totally dead, your radar is just a screen full of ghost ships that aren't there. You're commanding one of the most powerful warships in the world, and you've just been made blind and deaf without a single shot being fired.
And at that exact same moment, the war comes home. For years, intelligence agencies have warned that Chinese cyber units have planted digital time bombs in as many as 55,000 critical points in the US. Power grids, water systems, cell towers. As soon as the shooting starts in the strait, they pull the trigger, and things across America just start to fail.
At the same time, Wall Street descends into pure chaos.
Trading algorithms are corrupted, bank accounts get drained, the whole international money transfer system could be crippled, freezing trillions of dollars and sending the global markets into an absolute freefall.
So, within about 3 days, this regional conflict is now global. Allies from Japan to Australia, they're forced to pick a side. And the economic shockwave, it's so big that no country on Earth can escape it.
And if you're thinking, well, why don't we just sanction China like we did Russia? This chart shows you why that's not really an option. China moves about 5 times more money through the global system than Russia did. Cutting them off isn't a sanction, it's an act of mutual economic suicide. It would trigger a global depression instantly.
And then we get to the ultimate nightmare scenario, the nuclear one. China has a growing arsenal, estimated right now at around 410 warheads. America, of course, has a lot more, over 5,000.
So that means an easy win for the US, right? No, absolutely not. That's not how nuclear strategy works. Having more weapons doesn't make you safe. The real danger is that one side, feeling like it's losing, might think it can use a limited nuclear strike just to send a message, without starting Armageddon. And that, well, that is exactly how a full-scale nuclear war begins.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this survey of hundreds of global security experts. It is genuinely terrifying. Nearly 2/3 of them think China will attack Taiwan in the next decade. And almost half, expect nuclear weapons to actually be used by 2035. The unthinkable is no longer unthinkable. It's being planned for.
So here's the bottom line. Once a conflict like this starts, it could spiral so fast that literally no one can control it. It would gut the global economy and push nuclear powers to the absolute brink. So really, the question isn't about who could win a war like this. The real question is whether any of us could survive it.